Shrimp scampi is an Italian-American dish that has many different variations, but these days it's generally regarded as a simple dish of shrimp cooked in white wine, garlic, and butter. Long ago, in the glory days of this dish, it was more complex and full of flavor. Here's a return to that classic, rich and deep in shrimp flavor, better than the Stinking Roses version. Soak up the sauce with fresh baked French bread and a glass of red wine next to you, and you'll be in heaven.
I begin with the shrimp. Now, some people make scampi with the shells on, some make it without. I'm going to take the shells off for two reasons. First of all, I need the shells in order to make the stock for this. And second of all, I just personally don't really like eating the shells or peeling them with my fingers when I'm eating it. If you do, then you can follow this exact same recipe, just don't bother shelling and peeling the shrimp in the beginning. After a couple of minutes, you got the shells separated. These are going to be put in the freezer for use in making stock next time. I've got the shrimp that have been peeled and deveined, and I'm going to add enough of the shrimp stock to cover them. You don't really need to measure it. It'll be fine, just as long as you have enough to submerge them. And now these are going to sit for at least an hour. Through the magic of video editing, it's now been an hour. I'm taking the shrimp stock and I'm just straining it off into a little saucepan here, and I'm going to begin reducing this slowly on a low heat. You don't want to boil this. You'll ruin the delicate flavors in it. Now the shrimp need to be dried off before we grill them or fry them on at a high temperature, because otherwise they'll just steam. They won't actually fry. And also to this marinade and stock, now I'm going to add the white wine to it, and then this is going to go onto the stove and begin reducing slowly. The rule of thumb here is that you're going to use 1 clove of garlic plus 1 clove for every shrimp. You're going to use 5 grams of butter plus 5 grams of butter for every shrimp. We've got 8 shrimp, 9 cloves of garlic, 45 grams of butter. This is going to be minced. The butter is going to be melted. This is going to go into a separate pan on the stove. Don't crush the garlic for this application. Actually take the time to slice it properly. So just to recap, at the back of the stove we have the garlic that I just chopped finely, beginning to cook with the butter. In front of the stove we have the marinade, which is also the shrimp stock that is also beginning to reduce slowly. We have a cast iron skillet on a very high heat that is beginning to get blazingly hot. And finally, we have the shrimp that have been dried under paper towel, and these are about ready to be fried on that hot cast iron skillet. And just like the French bistro shrimp in my other video, I put some oil down. Cook these. They're standing up on the ends. They're only going to take a few seconds really each, and then we're going to go to the next batch. Just to recap, the point we're at now, we have the shrimp that have been grilled, waiting in a bowl. At the back of the stove on a low heat, we have the garlic that's just starting to turn brown in the butter. I'm going to kill the heat now. I'm just going to leave it at this stage until the rest of the reduction is complete. Speaking of which, here is the stock plus the white wine that was used to marinate the shrimp. This is still reducing, and slowly. It's starting to get thick. You can see that it's starting to get thick. As I drag a spoon through it, it doesn't close up immediately, but it's not ready yet. So we have to wait until this is finished before we can add it in with the butter and complete the dish. After a few minutes, when you finally got it down to this stage, it's like a paste practically. Now we can add in the butter and the garlic to this, recombine it. Now you have to taste it, and you're going to add some lemon juice to this and some fresh parsley. then finally, I'm going to add the shrimp that we grilled earlier. And this is pretty much it. You just have the salt levels okay, of course, and you know, all the usual stuff you do.
Also look for my cocktail book, Cocktails of the South Pacific and Beyond, Advanced Mixology, available through Amazon online.